What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bullshot Darts. In this one, I'm going to go over an article written by darthelp.com called 10 Tips to Help You Throw Better Darts. So I have not read this yet, so I thought it would be fun to go over it and kind of give my 2 cents on whatever tips he's going to give. If you want to read the article yourself, make sure you go in the description. I will put the link down there. Make sure you subscribe because I'm going to do a 2-part of this because there's 10 things. I don't want these to go too long. So make sure to subscribe so you don't miss part 2. Also, drop the video a thumbs up and check out bullshotdarts.com where you can pick up some Bullshot apparel. The perfect way to show your love and passion for the greatest sport in the world, the sport that we all love. So go ahead over there and grab yourself your new favorite dart shirt. Alright, so I absolutely love darthelp.com. I've done videos on a couple of his other things, and I plan on doing more, so please go support them. Go to the website, check out the articles and all that good stuff. So let's get into this, guys. 10 tips for throwing better darts. Alright, so a little introduction here. Let's get into the first tip here. So number 1, he says practice with a purpose. So before even getting into this, I absolutely love this because I preach all the time. Never stand at your board and mindlessly throw darts and consider that practice. Now, I do that when I warm up, just to warm up my body. But when I get to actual practice, I always make sure there's a practice or a purpose behind my practice. No matter what you are attempting to get better at, practice is the only way to really improve. Yes, definitely. You have to practice what you're doing to get better at it. There's a famous saying, the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. If you're looking for more ways to improve your darts game, nothing will help achieve that than constant practice, of course. However, all training should be executed with a purpose. Yes, simply throwing countless darts at a board with no apparent goal is an extremely inefficient waste of time and energy. I cannot agree more. I absolutely love where this article is going. I love that he made this number 1 because this is one of the things I preach a lot. Quick example. Well, I guess he's got an example. I'll get to there in a second. But my example I always say is, if you're working on your doubles, don't just target practice the doubles. Because in an actual game, you're never target practicing the doubles. You have an out, and you have to take that out. So if you want to practice double 16, give yourself 32 and take out the out. Because if you miss inside, you have to switch to the double 8. If you're target practicing that 16, double 16, if you miss inside and stay there, that's just not something you would ever do in an actual game. So, for example, throw 100 darts at the triple 20. Systematically aiming at one of the hardest scores in the game will gradually raise your accuracy. So that's one thing. So power scoring, yes, I love working on my power scoring. So, all right, let's keep going down here. Hold still. Maybe he means the body. Let's do a little bit more reading into this. A mistake players of all experience levels tend to make is lose awareness of their body during the throw. Okay, that's kind of where I thought he was going with this, keeping a still body and moving a little bit. If you want to improve and do so consistently, you will have to make sure this does not happen to you. Yeah, the more things we have moving, the more rooms there's going to be for mistakes. Be aware of your entire body during every second of the throw, from the moment you step to the aki until the moment you release the dart from your hand. There should be absolutely no bouncing, swinging, or swaying. Your breathing should be steady and controlled at all times, and all motions should be consciously performed. I absolutely love where he's going with this too. Many players throw their elbow out, flex their knees, lift their back leg. I've seen some players close their eyes when they release the dart as if they were sneezing. I've never seen that before. That would be a sight to see. All of these behaviors actively work to your detriment. Over time, as you gain more control over your body, you will be able to focus on the tiniest the tiniest mechanical details of your throws more easily. And this will improve your averages without a doubt. Of course, so I say this all the time, guys. When you're throwing, the less stuff we have moving up here, the less room there's going to be for mistakes. Now, if you do have these certain ticks and different things that you do during your throw, my recommendation is always try to eliminate them. But if you do have them, be consciously aware of them, because at the end of the day, this boils down to consistency. So if you find yourself having some extra body movement, if it's consistently the same movement every single time, it's not the worst thing in the world because you can adjust to that. But I always recommend trying to eliminate it, but if not, work on the consistency of those ticks. I talk about that in my video, How to Throw Darts Like a Pro, so make sure you go check that out if you haven't already. Number 3 here, eliminate variables. It is no secret that the game of darts is a game of consistency. A player's performance will ultimately depend on his or her ability to throw consistently. All right, I just talked about consistency, so here we go. I love it. More so than his or consistently, more so than his or her ability to throw accurately. So yes, with the consistency, the accuracy will come, but it all boils back down to that consistency. This is not to say that accuracy is not important. Of course, it is, but if you wish to improve as a player, you need to work on consistency first and foremost. Oh, I'm loving this article right now. I just preached about how important it is to be consistent. So whatever it is that you are doing, even if it's not mechanically sound, it has to be consistent. I love it. To achieve high levels of consistency, you will have to eliminate as many variables as you possibly can. This means your stance, your grip, your throw mechanics, your follow through, etc. should remain the same every time that you play. So I just talked about this when he was talking about not moving. So yes, every part of your throw has to be consistent. So even if you do have these little ticks, and I mean, I already just touched on this, but if something's not mechanically sound, obviously try to fix that. But if you can't, embrace it and focus on being consistent. So I touch my nose and my lips a lot when I throw it. It kind of looks like I'm kissing my dart when I throw. I tried eliminating that. It messed up my throw. I could not throw without doing that. My throw got bad. So after weeks of trying, I said, you know what? I touch my nose and my lips. That's just what happens. I'm gonna embrace it and be consistent with it. So I love it. Once you have figured out a routine that works for you and it meshes well with your style of play, make a concerted effort. I'm sorry, guys, I am not a good reader. This is why I don't teach English or reading. Effort to hone it down and point where it becomes second nature. Yes. This is much easier said than done. Of course, everything darts related is easier said than done and will take hundreds, if not thousands of practice hours before you can manage to stop thinking about it. Yes. Consistency requires considerable effort and commitment. However, a few aspects of your game can impact your performance more. Yes, I absolutely love this article so far. We're only 3 deep here, and man, there's a lot of information here that's great. Oh, here we go. Play against better players. This is something I preach about all the time. You have to play against players that are better than you. Let's see what he has to say about it before I put in my 2 cents. To many people, this might seem like a silly tip to give players, and for some it might even sound counterintuitive, but trust me on this. If you want to improve as a player of darts, and this applies to any game or sport, you must play with people who are going to beat you. Yes, yes, yes. That's right. To get better, you must lose repeatedly. There are 2 main reasons why this type of failure happens to work out in the end. First of all, by playing with people who are better than you, you are given the opportunity to study the way they play. Yes, so learning from people that are better than you. I spent the first years of my life shooting darts, studying darts as much as I was playing. I would watch darts. Phil Taylor was my guy. I always wanted to be like Phil Taylor and throw like him. So if you notice, my throw is somewhat similar to Phil's. Obviously, I have to make it my own to make it comfortable for me. Better than you, you are given an opportunity to study the way they play. You will get a front row seat to someone who is better mechanically and strategically than you are. Yes. When you see somebody consistently at ton 80s and check out without batting an eyelash, you have the opportunity to observe and learn. Yes. So not only playing against them and seeing, but watching darts too, you get that same effect. Additionally, when you experience failure, you are given the opportunity to analyze where you went wrong. Yes, you always have to be analyzing your game and analyze it in a realistic way. Don't be too confident and too arrogant while you're analyzing your play, because then you're not going to learn from it. You have to give a realistic analysis of your game to get better. Comparing and contrasting is something we are taught early in school, and it is something that we should apply to our darts career. Yes. Play with better players, get beat, dust yourself off, try again. That is the secret to growth and improvement. Yes. So I also want to pair this with going out and playing more. Yes, it's good to play players that are better than you, but also getting out and playing more is also super important too, because you learn that competitive aspect, and of course you're bound to run into players that are better than you too. So, all right guys, we're gonna do one more here for part 1, And then we'll get to part 2 later. Next, perfect your stance. Yes, I actually have a video series coming out regarding this stuff. I don't want to say too much because I'll be making my videos about this, but yeah, so perfect your stance. The physics and mechanics behind darts throws tell us that one of the most important aspects to master is for the body to remain still during the release of the dart. So we did touch on this. I believe it was tip number 1 that talked about hold still. Actually, no, I think it was tip number 2, hold still. Only the forearm, arm, and wrist should move to ensure that the dart follows the most accurate and efficient path through the air. Yes, go back and watch my video, How to Throw Darts Like a Pro. I almost say this exactly. The only thing moving is this. Everything should be still. Your stance, we should only be moving our arm. Your stance should be comfortable and relaxed to allow you to launch as many times without suffering excessive fatigue. Yes, I have a habit of putting a lot of weight on my right leg. When I'm throwing a lot of darts, I don't think about it because my leg is conditioned for it. But if I take some time away from darts or I'm not throwing that much and then I play for a long time, I definitely feel that fatigue on my right leg. And that goes with any other movement you might have on your body. The more you have moving, the more you're going to get fatigued while throwing your dart. I love it. By I love it, I mean this article. A proper dart stance is characterized by a shoulder that remains still after you have aimed your dart. Yes, no shoulder movement. Any additional movements from the upper body move your position and will change the planned trajectory. There is a wide variety of acceptable stances, but the player needs to figure out which one works best for him or her and stick to it. A proper stance has the player facing the dartboard like an archer does a target. For beginners, it is recommended to take an angled position between the player's foot and the hockey line for the most accuracy and stability. So we're kind of just talking about different ways, like mechanically on your stance here. Additionally, most of the player's body weight should be placed upon the front foot. However, during a throw, the back foot should never lose contact with the ground because this causes instability. Yes, you guys got to keep that back leg down. Now, I understand sometimes late in a darts tournament, pending how much confidence juice you've been having, sometimes that leg might kick up a little bit more, but make sure you focus on keeping that foot down. The stance is a very detailed topic that deserves more discussion. Yes, I agree. That is why I will be coming out with videos talking about this very soon. If you are looking to perfect your stance, you can check out our full article, Improving Your Dart Stance. Hey, maybe I'll have to do a review of that article too. But yeah, so there it is, guys. There's the first 5 tips from darthelp.com on the 10 tips. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be coming out with part 2 soon. Thank you all so much for watching. Drop the video a thumbs up. Drop it a share if you found it helpful. There should have been some videos that popped up over here. Give them a click. I'll see you guys in the next one, and shoot well.